All right, this is part 3 of calculating a 45-degree offset. So in videos 1 and 2, I showed you how to find the center to center dimension. I'm going to show you how to find the end to end dimension now, calculating for takeoff with fittings and weld gaps and the like. Okay, so it's important to note that you do have to find the center to center dimension first. This is going to tell us how to find the end to end dimension. We're just going to take this length and then subtract our takeoff. So if we read the top here, we're assuming that we have 2-inch steel with a 2-inch 90-degree long radius butt weld elbow and then a 45-degree butt weld. And we're assuming a 1/8 inch weld gap. So I'm going to find my dimensions here for these takeoffs using my IPT Pipe Trades Handbook. So if I pop over, see, I got this, to page 195, you can see we're looking at butt weld fittings and we have the 90-degree long radius elbow. This is going to be type A in our chart, and then we have the 45-degree elbow, which is going to be type B in our chart. So looking at our chart for a 2-inch pipe, we have the 90-degree long radius is going to be 3 inches, and then the 45 is going to be 1.38. So just really quickly, 1.38 is obviously a decimal. There's 2 ways we can convert this to a fraction. The first is using the Pipe Trades Pro. We just do 1.38, push inches, and then we convert that to feet, funnily enough, and then it will tell us that that's 1 inch and 3/8. The other way we can do this is just to take your decimal and multiply by 16, and then that will give you a fraction over 16. Now, when you do this, you only want to include the decimal. You don't want the whole number. So I would just do the 0.38 times 16. And that's going to give me my fraction over 16. So it's going to be basically 1 inch and 6 over 16, which reduces to 1 3/8 inches. So same way, same measurement either way. But that's how we're going to calculate our takeoffs. Now we have 2 different types of pipe connections happening. We have these vertical pipes here that are going to have a 90-degree fitting on the bottom, and then they're going to have a 45-degree fitting right here. So calculating the takeoff for that, the 90-degree fitting, we have to take 3 inches off for that elbow. Plus, we're also going to take off a 1/8 inch weld gap at that fitting. And then at the 45-degree, we're going to take off 1 3/8 inches. Sorry, I had to white this out a million times and now it's hard to write on. And then again, at that 45-degree fitting, we're still going to have to take off that 1/8 inch weld gap where we're connecting the pipe to the fitting. Okay, so the total takeoff for C, D, A, and F is going to be 3 inches plus 1/8 of an inch plus 1 inch and 3/8 plus 1/8 of an inch. So we should get 4 5/8 is how much we're going to take off of all of those vertical pipes. That's actually quite a bit, right? And then for B and E, these are slightly different because we're connecting a 45 here and a 45 here. So at the top end, we have to take off 1 3/8 inches for this elbow here, plus an 1/8 inch weld gap. Oh, I don't know why I put a minus sign there. So this is 1 3/8 inches. And then we have the 1/8 inch weld gap. And then we have this same connection down here at this elbow. So we're going to take off 1 3/8 inches for the 45-degree elbow, and then another 1/8 of an inch for the weld gap. So we got 1 3/8 again. Oh, I keep doing that. 1 3/8, and then a 1/8 inch weld gap. So the total takeoff for B and E is going to be 1 inch and 3/8 plus 1/8 plus 1 inch and 3/8. Oopsies. Let's start over. Okay. 1 inch and 3/8 plus 1/8 plus 1 inch and 3/8 plus 1/8, and that's a nice even 3 inches. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our center to center dimensions, and then we're just going to subtract from C, D, A, and F 4 feet and 5/8 inches, and then from B and E we're going to subtract 3 inches. So I'll just show you a quick example of that. So A is going to be 2 feet 10 inches. And then we're going to subtract that total takeoff of 4 inches and 5/8. And that's going to give us our total length here of 2 feet 5 3/8 inches.